The hero of the film is a 23 years elderly person named Noah, who is frantic to get a boyfriend. She utilizes internet dating locals and has gone out with a few men. However, every one of them have brought about frustration. During one such date, she meets a man named Chadwick, who ends up being a Finnish bonehead. He just offers sexiest comments and discusses his cash. He likewise clarifies that Noah will be paying for their super. As their discussion unfolds, Noah turns out to be progressively irritated, and she chooses to leave. In any case, Chadwick makes a point to pass a few mean comments on her. He calls her a letdown who burned through his valuable time. Noah, who is utilized to such disillusionments, doesn't let out the slightest creep and just leaves. Later at the rec center, she trusted in her closest companion, Molly, about the occurrence. She accepts that she will stay single as long as she can remember. Be that as it may, Molly guarantees her God is saving the best individual for her. Around evening time, Noah goes to a close-by store where she chances upon a man named Steve. The two rapidly bond over their common love for cotton sweet crabs, and Noah appears to be stricken by his appeal. Before they head out in a different direction, Steve unexpectedly requests her number. Being the frantic young lady that she is, Noah gives it to him decisively. The next day, she discusses Steve with her dearest companion Molly. Noah specifies that he is an attractive person with a decent character, yet unfortunately he hasn't messaged her yet. Accordingly, Molly jokes that he is likely hitched. Afterward, as Noah is returning, she at last gets a call from Steve. He burns through no time and asks her out on the town. Noah is shocked by the unexpected solicitation. However, she is frantic to such an extent that she concurs without thinking a lot. During their date, Steve and Noah open up and share about their experiences. He uncovers that he is really a specialist from Texas and is new to this town. Lastly, Noah says that she just moved on from school and is searching for a job. The two then associate over the way that they don't have guardians and are living alone. Steve likewise makes reference to that he is so engaged with his work that she lacks opportunity and energy to utilize any virtual entertainment. After their date, Noah requests that he approach his loft. There things get warmed, and two wind up making some heartfelt memories. The following morning, Noah wakens feeling revived. This is the most joyful she has been in an extended period of time. She covertly snaps the pictures of resting Steve, and afterward calls her closest companion Molly to share the subtitles of her phenomenal evening. Molly is glad for her, however considers it odd that Steve isn't on the web. As their discussion unfurls, Noah specifies that Molly's ex Paul was working as a barkeep at the eatery the previous evening. It is uncovered that Molly as of late emerged as a lesbian and parted ways with Paul. The next night, Noah gets together with her new sweetheart once more. While having a few takeout, they examine more about their lives. Noah shares that she has a closest companion named Molly, who has a deep understanding of her. After the two complete the process of eating, Steve recommends they dance. Noah is a piece uncertain, however, winds up having load of tomfoolery. They in the inn get worn out and plank down. Unexpectedly, Steve then inquires as to whether she might want to go on an end of the week trip with him. She gets some information about the offset, however, he stays quiet about it. In any case, she concurs as she has begun loving him. After Steve leaves, Noah calls her dearest companion and educates her regarding the impending outing. Molly is a bit stressed, as Noah is going out with somebody she scarcely knows. Notwithstanding, the last option concludes her dearest companion that she will be fine. She likewise sends an image of Steve to her, saying he is great. The next day, Steve assumes Noah to his possession, saying they will be leave for the trip promptly the following morning. Our young lady honestly concurs, however she actually has no clue about what the future holds for her. She attempts to message Molly about her area, yet her telephone sign has all the earmarks of being powerless. In the wake of driving for a few hours, they at long last show up at an obscure-looking house. It seems, by all accounts, to be totally detached from the remainder of the city. Noah is a piece worried out by this, yet she expresses nothing right now. Sooner or later, Steve reads a beverage and gives it to her. He requires that she supports its item, however, when not tasted it, she feels discombobulated and passes out. Subsequent to recapturing cognizance, she ends up tied up in a room with Steve. He admits to tranquilizing her, which leaves Noah feeling befuddled and terrified. Steve then at that point drops an significant sensation. He is really a barbarian who eats human meat and additionally offers it to well-off clients. He makes senses of that a considerable lots of his clients favor the meat of young ladies. So he deceives and captures them by taking them on dates. He additionally advises Noah that he intends to keep her alive as far as might be feasible to keep up with the newness of her tissues, while eliminating the body parts gradually. Unarmed for her life, Noah attempts to retaliate, yet Steve overwhelms her and pins her to the ground. After the barbarian leaves, Noah frantically calls for her help. A lady from the neighboring room named Penny replies back, uncovering that Steve has sneezed a few ladies' hair. As the two ladies converse with one another, they discover that the two of them are vagrants. This implies that Steve just targets ladies without any guardians, as he realizes that nobody will come searching for them. All at once, another lady begins singing, and Penny uncovers that it's Steve's another casualty named Melissa, who has freaked out subsequent to being captured. Then again, Molly starts to stress after not hearing from her companion for some time. She sends her a couple of messages, and shockingly, Steve messages her back utilizing Noah's telephone. He specifies that they are unwinding at a bungalow far away from the city. He likewise sends her a picture of a lovely cascade and says that Noah is intending to switch off her cell phone for some time. She is doing as such to move away from inconvention and appreciate nature. Molly, who realizes her closest companion pretty well, detects that something is not right. In this way, she looks into the cascade picture on the web to track down its area. A modern day miracle, it's end up being a stock photograph taken from an irregular site. Then again, Steve approaches Noah once more, yet this time he is delicate. He gives her some new garments and even lets her wash up. Noah exploits his consideration and attempts to take off. However, tragically, Steve figures out how to catch her. He then hauls her to the medical procedure room and eliminates her bum as discipline. Somewhere else, Molly begins searching for her dearest companion. From the get-to-go, she goes to her ex-Paul cafe, where Noah had her most memorable date with Steve. The two gracelessly welcome one another, and Molly cuts to the chase. She asks Paul on the off chance that he is familiar with the Steve fellow. The barkeep gives off an impression of being a piece reluctant, as he isn't permitted to share client's abilities. Yet with Molly's demand, he must choose the option to agree. Paul then at that point uncovers that the person's real name is Brendan Camp. Afterwards, Molly gets back and searches for the name on the web. She discovers that he is to a lady named Anne and has two youngsters. After this, Molly chooses to visit Anne. She likewise sends the area to Paul, requesting that he come searching for her assuming anything goes wrong. Back at the butcher house, Noah discovers that she is the main casualty Steve has lied down with. This implies that he would have a weakness for her. Noah then at that point chooses to exploit what is happening. From that second onwards, she quits opposing and attempts to tempt Steve each opportunity she gets. She likewise shows an unexpected interest in human meats, saying she needs to taste it. In the following scene, Molly arrives at Anne's area and straight away uncovers that her spouse has been dating different ladies. The lady gives off an impression of being frightened by this disclosure, so she welcomes Molly inside for a talk. Tragically, as they dig further into their discussion, Steve abruptly appears. She acts cool and imagines that he doesn't know anybody by the name of Noah. This to some degree pursues Molly, and she accepts that she has jumped into some unexpected house. However, before she leaves, she gives her companion another call. Shockingly, the telephone rings in Steve's pocket. It is ready to uncover that he is hijacker. Since he has uncovered, Steve shrewdly says that she shouldn't have come here. Molly attempts to take off, yet before she can do so, Anna snatches her away from behind. It turns out she is likewise a savage companion of Steve. Sometime later, Steve moves Molly to his remote butcher house in the forest. Then he returns to Noah, gives her new garments and welcomes her for supper. In another scene, we see Anna in the washroom, uncovering that she has a funny leg. This proposes that she was once one of Steve's casualties period to turning into his better half. During supper, Steve and Noah have a genuine discussion, as though they are a couple. She asks how he got into this business, to which he shares that he tasted human meat interestingly when he was 18. At first, he was terrified of being gotten by the police. However, at that point, he was unable to get more of that taste. As the year passed, he fostered a hankering for human meat and made companions who shared his strange taste. In the long run, he found a local area ready to pay a large chunk of change for his uncommon meat, turning him into a human meat dealer. Subsequent to sharing his story, Steve offers Noah some human tissue. She is disturbed by it. However, to keep her exterior, she eats it with a cheerful face. After supper, Steve removes Molly for his fruitful purposes. In the interim, Paul, not having heard from his ex for some time, gets stressed and begins looking for her. Slice to the following scene, Steve welcomes Noah for another supper. She appears to have acquired his trust at this point, which turns out to be significantly more clear when he gives her a wonderful pink dress. Later during supper, as Noah chomps on some human tissues, Steve uncovers that it is Melissa. This expectantly stuns our young lady, yet she doesn't show it all over. After supper, Steve shows her a secret space loaded up with things from his casualties. demonstrating that he snatched and killed numerous ladies previously. He then reveals something revolting. His clients really prefer to have the possession of the ladies they eat, which causes them to feel closer to their food. All of a sudden, Noah detects Molly's telephone in the corner. This causes her to understand that her dearest companion had come searching for her. Yet all at once wound up being another of its casualties. Enraged, Noah chooses to make a move at the present time. She realizes that Steve can change his disposition quickly, so she needs to rapidly act. Subsequently, she gets together the bonds and asks him for a dance. Shockingly, he concludes and even uncuffs her. In the wake of setting the temperament with a heartfelt dance, she drives him to his room on the misrepresentation of pleasuring him. In any case, rather than giving him a great time, she ruthlessly nibbles his corners off. Noah then at that point swiftly snatches the key and takes off while Steve proceeds with screaming excruciatingly. Before long, arrives at the compartment where different casualties are being had. Every one of them seems, by all accounts, to be dead with the exception of Penny and her dearest companion Molly. Noah rapidly liberates them, and the threesome returns to Getaway. Be that as it may, all of a sudden Steve appears and goes after them. A strained fight then at that point results between the two gatherings, and notwithstanding Steve being dwarfed, furthermore harmed, he figures out how to overwhelm the ladies. Notwithstanding, he before long becomes drained and gets taken out. The young ladies then at that point snatches Molly's telephone and departures the spot. However, they can't reach extremely far as Penny has all the earmarks of feeling the loss of an appendage. Once more tragically, Steve appears, this time with a weapon close by. He fires a few rounds at them, yet every one of them misses. In the interim, Paul has shown up external the house, following the GPS on Molly's telephone. At the point when he hears the discharge, he quickly makes a run for it. The young ladies notice this and understand that help isn't showing up at any point in the near future. Thus, they choose to assume control over issues. They rapidly concoct a strategy and split up in discrete bearings to befuddle the savage. Furthermore, when Steve rushes at one of them, all the three young ladies pick up and beat him to a mash. Noah then gets his own firearm and polishes him off. After this, they attempt to call for help utilizing Molly's telephone, however it unexpectedly gets exchanged. Sooner or later, Anna additionally shows up at the spot searching for her significant other. At the point when she finds his entire body on the ground, she gets incensed and goes after Noah. The two ladies then at that point go this way and that at one another, and maybe Anna is acquiring the advantage. In any case, luckily Molly shows up just under the wire and crushes the ladies' heads in with a dangling tool. She does this over and over until Anna at last passes away. In the last scene, as Molly and Noah are attempting to get a handle on what occurred, the last option gets a text from Chadwick. He asks her, "You up? Please subscribe and click the bell icon."